Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. He'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
It's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Let's see what we have going today. The 7th of November, moving right along. Almost the end of the year. Can you believe it? Okay, moon sign, Capricorn, sun sign, Scorpio. So it means we have water and earth. Water and earth. Earth can absorb the water. Water can crush out or flood the earth, both wiping each other out, or they could work in nice harmony. Remember, water is emotions, earth is the practical or the form that comes together as the compilation of the fire, the water, and the air. So with the earth, you're trying to look past the illusion. You don't want to get caught up in just thinking the earth is the only thing there is. You want to remember that something came before the earth. And that's where you want to go. So we have emotions, and then we have the practicalness underneath. Also, Capricorn is, that steadiness, that progress, that mountain goat that is persistent. It keeps climbing up that mountain. All right, so we have some good, persistence in our unconscious mind, but we just have to keep focused that we're in the spiritual world. This isn't all a physical world, and that's the most important thing there. Moon phase, making its way up to a full moon, 22% of the way there. Mayan Oracle, 8-tone day, an 8-star guided by the human. Phrase for today is, I harmonize in order to beautify modeling art. I seal the store of elegance with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of free will. Spaceweather.com, our solar wind is currently at 365.3 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index is in the 4. This is because most likely the coronal hole and the flares that have come off that we are feeling to some degree or another. So we are in the unsettled range of 4. Here we got another coronal hole right in the middle. Geomagnetic storm activity, 45% for an M class. X class is 10. In the latitudes here, we got 20% severe in the higher latitudes, down only 15% in the active in the mid latitudes. Here's Suspicious Observers Report for today.
Good morning, folks. New blog post on the official Ison observing campaign gives an underwhelming description of the potential breakup or survival possibilities of Ison. The comet has now begun to brighten considerably, according to Bruce Gary's site, which is anything but underwhelming. He noted a change to the brightening rate, and if you'll remember, this is expected. Remember we showed you how Ison was going to cross the solar system equatorial plane right at the time that big far side CME was set to potentially hit the comet. Can't say for sure that was the genesis of the current brightening, but the timing is perfect. This really grinds my gears, when most rocky bodies contain carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, etc., and solar wind pumps out every known element according to NASA. Where is the need for such a theory as this? This is even before you consider anything about star water. Let's come now to a look back to Alaska in October. They were checking their calendars in confusion at the heat, and here's why. Clockwise high pressure stuck with the left side driving heat north. Now let's come east to see the low in the northeast drawing the counterclockwise up, and a big clockwise driving high pressure system out west. Now that high, driving cold air south into the Midwest on the clockwise drive, while heat was drawing up the leading edge of the convergence to the low, causing those major temperature differentials. Other top weather watches: first in New Zealand, low pressure is a clockwise mover in the southern hemisphere, and the storms are continuing here. Final watch is quite obviously the super typhoon. Remnants to the west are flooding southern Asia, while the Philippines better prepare for this Leviathan. Solar wind showing 2 interplanetary shocks. Yesterday's did not do much at all, but the latest ramp of both speed and density has finally begun to peck away at our stability. KP rising, with the sensitive charts indicating moderate levels of disturbance only. We clearly continue to take M flares here, perhaps entering a little lull. And these vents are ramping up the polar radiation in the form of high energy protons you see here. The major flares since we last spoke here, more aesthetically beautiful than dangerous. But while I've got your attention here, what the heck happened in yesterday's comments? You guys know better than to get baited by the trolls, and a lot of time and effort was wasted on your parts. You see these trolls who can't seem to come up with anything new to claim? Fine. Go to the About and FAQ on my website and try not to laugh at what they're saying. But a warning, if you watch and enjoy the anti-SO communities on YouTube, sharing these facts will get you blocked from those sites. Doesn't exactly fit their talking points. And while we're here, 100 questions about this every day, so here's where you log into your account, here's where you click to become a member. Public forums are the only thing not back up at this time. Gracias por tu paciencia. We're back to the news, and focused on the 2 Earth-facing groups, Big Daddy and back, with the developing newbies as well. Starting with the flare maker, you see technical delta spots, 3 of them actually, but this is majorly faded, and the rest of this group decayed as well. Meanwhile, the little guy out front actually has a delta spot despite his tiny overall size. He's actually beta delta, as I do not see a gamma class here. You'll remember, we were smack dab in the middle of a quake uptick with all factors hitting. Then the solar magnetics went a little ballistic. Since then, we've been quiet. We've got a corona hole facing Earth today with more coming in down south. Shots of our star to close, eyes open. No fear, it's 6:40 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's the news. Be safe, everyone.
All right, very good. All right, so we're going to continue on with our piece about Bill Donahue and Kabbala. Here we go. This is the last part.
The thoughts of the mind, and that means that this is manifesting outwardly and that you're reaching out in love with the mind of Christ to others all around you. If you're doing that, then you can say Jesus is Lord. If you're not, you can't. Because Jesus Christ himself will look you right in the eye and say, why do you call me Lord? Luke 6:46. Why do you call me Lord and not do what I tell you to do? So let me show, Albert, do you see how ridiculous this is? The Bible says if you confess Jesus is Lord. So they come up and they say Jesus is Lord. They're saying words. But they are not confessing the Lordship of Jesus Christ until you're able to confess that you do and you act out what he says to do. And most people don't have the guts to act out what he says to do because they're afraid of what the doggone church is going to say to them. Because the church has said if you do these things, you're going to open the demons, and they believe the church, and they will walk away from Jesus Christ, and they got bumper stickers on their car saying Jesus is Lord, and he's not. And that's why the world is a pig pen, because they are claiming the Lordship of Jesus Christ, and they are not obeying Jesus Christ to bring their Lordship to strength, to life within themselves. Do what the man says. Put your Bibles down, doggone it. And when he says get inside of yourself, get inside of yourself. And let the rest of them go nuts. Just say to hell with you, get out of my life. You've ruined it, you've raped the earth, you've raped the world, you've polluted the oceans, you've tortured the animals, you got teenagers committing suicide, you got the world in a shambles. Tell me nothing anymore, and I'm not putting any more money in your tin pot in order for you to tell me how I disobey Jesus Christ. I am staying with Jesus Christ. I am following with Jesus Christ. He is the Lord because I'm going to do what he says, and I'm not listening to you and you bunch of hooded crooks with your stained glass windows so you can't see the poverty and the frustration going on outside in the world. Walk away from them and grab Jesus Christ by the arm and say, I will follow you over a cliff. And if you say sit and practice the single eye, I'm doing it now. Right now. Eh? Let anybody tell you any different. How holy they are. Holy. That's pretty good, Al. All right. I am angry. Angry because of the oppression. We sit here in this little place with people who come through those doors who have been hurt. And all of their life they have poured money into that thing and claimed the claims and said the prayers, and their lives have deteriorated because these people have never had the guts to say to them, you got to obey Jesus Christ and seek within yourself and allow the kingdom of God to explode within you and the mind of Christ to take you and lift you above all of this trash and take you up into the heavenly places. Not when you're dead in a grave, but when you're alive standing on your 2 feet now, because God is not a God of the dead, he's a God of the living. I don't care what they say. Not afraid. Almost done. A long day, but a good day. Just real quick. According to the Zohar, there are successive phases of emanation which is coming out. Webster's dictionary defines emanation as springing, coming out from within. And let me just show you this real quickly, and we'll keep you. But you're here anyhow, so. One is called abysmal will. Okay? And that is that deep, deep within you, beyond the ability to touch, there is an existence inside that no one can even conceive of. That means that you may think you're guilty. That means that you may think you're a sinner. But deep inside of yourself, there is a little germ deep inside of yourself waiting to be stirred and activated that will burst into life. In the same way that you see deep inside the soils, little germs, and they are stimulated by the movement of this great cycle of life. And when they're stimulated, they burst to life. And leaves and flowers come storming out all over the place. Inside of you is that same germ. That's abysmal will. Kabbala. Second, formative thought. Formative thought is that from the places of that deep abyss where we've been, meditation, nothingness, from that place, that germ will begin to stimulate ideas. That germ will begin to bring forth some new things, some things that you haven't previously thought of, and you'll say, wonder where I'm getting this from. I wonder how come I know this. It's happened to me. So from deep from the abysmal will start to come formative thought. Third, inner and in or unaudible word. Kabbala. And that's the inner discussion between you and your psyche begins. Get it all the time. When I was with this thing about the Acts of Thomas and the book, I said to Joan last night, I said, I just didn't understand it, so I let it roll in meditation and let it roll around and roll around and roll around and roll around. And I said to God, but what do I say when people say, don't you believe Jesus was crucified? He says, you tell them to go up into that mountain and enter into that cave and ask him themselves. Inner and audible word, the discussion with the angels goes on within you that you've heard from meditation. And fourth, utterance. Utterance. The final phase. What has happened? You see what has happened? From nothing has come everything. Huh? From nothing has come everything. From an abysmal will, a germ deep within the caverns of your divine consciousness has manifested an utterance that may heal, an utterance that may save, an utterance that may lift up, an utterance that may change. And it all came out of nothing and was manufactured into something by the creative force of the Almighty God. So Kabbala is then the Sifra, which you have a diagram of the 10 spheres or stages, like in spring, in which God emerges from his hidden abode, manifesting into a material universe. Look at it again, and you'll see. Huh? The spring. The springtime. Winter. Okay. Oh, so cold in winter. But seated deep within that winter, there begins to develop a spring. And the spring then moves itself into the summer of your life. And all is warm and all blossoms in newness and new life and new existence. Creation takes place within you. Revelation 2:17 says, to he that overcomes, I will give to eat of the hidden manna. That's what that is. Can I show you one other scripture before we go? See that abysmal will which we talked about? Hidden inside of you. Think of yourself. Think of your life. Think of the failure you may think that you are, and just try to understand what God has, what surprise package God has located right in your brain, waiting for you to discover. Think of it. And then listen to this. Turn with me to Isaiah, page 609 in the Old Testament in your little Bibles, the book of Isaiah. Incidentally, next week we'll be doing Isaiah. This is my first time that I've done a teaching on Isaiah, and I'm thrilled looking forward to it next week. Anyhow, Isaiah, verse 45. And now listen to what the promise is when we talk of Kabbala, abysmal will coming from nothing into something. Isaiah, verse 45, 3. Oh, I wish you could read it with me. And I hope each one of you have a Bible. And I want each one of you to see this. This is the promise, okay? And I will give you the treasures of darkness. What did we start this meeting off with tonight? Wisdom is to know the dark sayings. Didn't we? I will give you the treasures of darkness and the hidden riches of secret places, that you may know that I, the Lord, which call you by your name, am the God of Israel. The treasures of darkness and the hidden riches of secret places. From nothing comes everything. The breath of God hovering over the waters. How old is this? And I told you that was the last thing. Just do one more. Please do one more scripture for me, and then I promise this is definitely the last one. 1 Corinthians, page 156 in the New Testament. And this is, I want you to see this because this goes right along with what we've been speaking about tonight in the New Testament. The Apostle Paul, 1 Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 7. Now, I told you about this. Listen to this one. But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom which God ordained before the world unto our glory. From the abysmal will of nothingness comes everything. The hidden wisdom. Hidden. Hidden from who? Hidden from who? Jesus Christ says, unto you is given to know the secret of the kingdom. But to them who are without, all things, not some things, all things are done in parables. They never have a clue to what you're hearing and what you're beginning to understand. So Kabbalah Zohar is the spring. It is the leaf that begins to form from a dormant tree in your life. You learned a little bit about Kabbalah, didn't we? That's great. We had a great day. We really had some heavy-duty stuff, and I would ask those of you that I care about very much to, and it sounds like I'm selling a tape here, and I will not do that, and I'm sorry to come across that way. I'm not really talking out there. I'm talking to the folks here. I would ask you to pick up this morning's tape about Easter. I just want you to hear it, and it's really worthwhile. And I don't very well often say that, but that's when you should hear if you weren't here. Hey, we have to go. Thank you.
All right. Well, there you have it. That is it for Bill Donahue, but there's a lot more of him out there. He's got a lot more videos, so be sure to check him out. A lot of great stuff. UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. Today, I have 5 stories. Story number 1 is going back to this crop circle. This was the crop circle from Brazil. This is a better version. It's a little bit further away. This was the one that took place on the 2nd of November in Brazil. There's our long distance shot of it right there. Alright, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Now we're going to go to NASA. This was recorded by NASA, number 5th of November. Right here, the circle ones. We've seen more of these lately, haven't we? This is up by the International Space Station. There's that object in question. Okay. UFO is recorded by NASA themselves, and it is on the link above. The link has 2 hours of video on it. If you can jump to find 135, you'll see the UFO directly on the NASA video. UFO looks like the March 96 tether incident. During the tether incident, the donut UFO pulsated and throbbed as if alive. This, however, does neither, but it does look the same in appearance. Okay. So you've certainly seen and know what that looks like. Next, we're going to go over to this video in Buenos Aires of a UFO sighting. This was the other day. Video itself is 1 minute 11 seconds long, and there's our object in question. Okay, is that just a drone? Is that a real orb that's out there? Sometimes it's hard to tell, but we certainly are seeing the same type of object. There's another one right there. Okay, moving from there, we're going to go over to this article here. It says Unveiling Nibiru. This is Nibiru is one of the names for the king of planets headed towards Earth. The supposed planet is associated with Nemesis, Planet X, the 10th and the 12th planet, Marduk, the Destroyer, Red Dragon, Great Star, Comet of Doom, and so many others. Nibiru has 7 moons, and its perihelion passages are associated with the return of the gods, in which gods always refer to Demone. The Sumerians named its long orbit Ashar, while Hindu astronomers called it Treta Yuga. Ancient people labeled the destruction X as Kali Yuga and viewed it as a punishment for the world's sins. Many people, however, don't make connections between the king-sized planet and the massive Earth changes. In the Sumerian civilization, the Anunnaki were considered as extraterrestrial gods resembling humans and stay with humans on Earth to thrive on conquest, enslavement, and cannibalism of those under them have been reduced in power. Several speculative writings regarding Nibiru and the Anunnaki are based on the book of linguistic scholar Zecharia Sitchin entitled The 12th Planet. Nibiru's orbiting pattern supposedly gave the Anunnaki the advantage to observe many planets near its orbit. Nibiruans are often referred to as Anunnaki, which literally means they who have come down from the heavens to the earth. Theoretically, the Nibiru were populated with technologically advanced alien race with traits of Satan and their so-called home star Zeus, and they were carnivorous, cannibalistic, and specialized in mind control as well. Mr. Sitchin believed that they have fabricated the Anunnaki lie on behalf of the Illuminati, which was actively involved with them. It was said that various secretive organizations have long believed in coming political messiah other than Jesus to run the New World Order government. The core component of these organizations' secret knowledge and rituals is belief in alien gods and other ethereal entities. Mr. Sitchin claimed that the research coincided with many biblical texts that came originally from Sumerian writings. No one will ever know, however, except the Almighty God, whether Sitchin contributed to these fabrications or was just used by Masonic deceivers. Alright, so that's good information on Nibiru because we hear a lot about it in the Anunnaki. And very last piece here. This is a short little video, just under 4 minutes, of Wendell Stevens talking about Billy Mier. Okay, here we go.
One of the most convincing UFO cases of all time began in January 1975 in Switzerland. The experience begins in a UFO abduction case. A Swiss farmer was taken aboard a spacecraft articulated words with the occupants and began an exchange of information that has continued on and is going on today, still going on today. Spacecraft flew out of the blue and landed. The occupant got out and stood in the grass and sat on the grass and talked to the man, and they had an exchange that lasted 20 minutes, and there have been 116 contacts since then. Case involved a Mr. Billy Mier. In response to his question, they said that they come from the Pleiades. They said that they are here observing humanity, that they have information, some of the information is of a scientific nature, and that he would be asked to pass it to other people. They say that they are not gods, they're not superior people, they are men just like we are men. And he's taken hundreds of photographs of the Pleiadian spacecraft operating in Swiss airspace. And this has all been checked by the computer. The computer says that this object is on the order of 20 feet in diameter and about 120 yards away. It agrees with what the witness said about the diameter. He says it's 7 meters in diameter, it's about 21 feet. He took messages, he copied notes from the Pleiadians, wrote them down, over 2,000 pages worth. Here's a book of 600 pages that I have translated into English so far, and this represents 1/4 of the notes. We have no case on record with that volume of information delivered by extraterrestrial contacts to a contactee, a UFO contactee. And the information in there is just staggering, just phenomenal. The information covers technical and scientific data as best they can explain it to us in terms of the words that we use in our technology. It gets into spiritual problems, spiritual development of man and our relationship to deity. It describes other existences in space, other human beings living in other planetary environments. They're here because they're concerned about us, their younger brothers. Our technical potentials have exceeded our spiritual capability of handling the information. And we are now in a position where we can destroy ourselves, and we don't have the spiritual development to prevent it. And because of this, we have become a laboratory experiment. They are waiting to see what we're going to do. As a matter of fact, they don't see us solving the problem. They see us as an insane society rushing headlong to destruction. And that only a change of mass mind on a mass scale can influence it. And they don't see this happening. And that's staggering because it's us that's involved.
Now, in the 1980s, with growing public interest and acceptance of extraterrestrials, it is hoped that present and future administrations will be more honest and forthright in releasing information concerning these and other visitations.
All right, that is the UFO news for today. We've got a bunch more news, so stay tuned, and I'll be right back.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Government should be afraid.
All right. We're going to start off with Obamacare. You know, I want to give an example. You know, what was just being said, what Wendell just said there, of we're in this society that seems to be going downhill, backwards. And it's kind of hard to believe that we're in this place because so many people don't believe that, you know, we could have gotten here so quick, but here we are. And some strange examples. I mean, just looking around the Obamacare issue. Here we have a man who has gone in front of the press, in front of the worldwide media, and it's been counted 39 times he has told people that if you like your insurance, you can keep your insurance. He has gone out and said that. Despite the fact that there is video evidence showing these 39 times that he went and said that, he actually has the arrogance to say he really didn't say that. It was just a mistake. People are blowing it out of proportion. And of course, there are those who believe blindly in him that still believe what he's saying. How could that be? How could somebody say something, have evidence of it, and then lie that he said it and have others believing him? That's a problem. That's consciousness that is not working properly, because one should be able to easily look and say, okay, He said this. Here's video evidence of it. And he's saying he didn't say it. That's a lie. Easily deciphered. A lie. But there are those who don't believe that that's a lie, and they'll justify it. Don't know why. Crazy. Here's Brother Nathaniel, and he's talking about Obamacare code can't be fixed. Let's listen to what Brother Nathaniel has to say, because, well, we always hear some very interesting things from him, and this is no exception. Here we go.
Not only is the code that underpins Obamacare's website flawed beyond repair, even parts of it are pirated merchandise. The makers of healthcare.gov passed off software from datatables.net as their own, a blatant violation of the owner's copyright license. The site even began with a crony crash, with Michelle Obama awarding a no-bid contract for its construction to a college friend, who is Senior VP of the Canadian company CGI Federal. So much for building our own economy at home. And now with crashes, freezes, and countless security breaches, along comes Jeffrey Zients, Obama's billionaire Jewish fix-it man, to try to save the sinking ship.
Jeff Zients is a name you should know, especially if you're trying to enroll in the new healthcare exchanges. The new Obamacare website is plagued with problems. Zients joined the Obama administration in 2009. Before being named the first chief performance officer at the Office of Management and Budget, he ran the advisory board company, a massive Washington consulting conglomerate.
Having spent all of my time before 3 years ago in the private sector, I know firsthand how important technology has been to driving the success of the private sector.
Zients can tout his technological know-how all he wants, but when he ran the cash for Clunker's website, it kept on crashing.
In 2009, Zients reformed the Cash for Clunkers program. The government car buying program had a tedious website that crashed too often to be useful. Sound familiar?
Yep, sounds familiar. Because of healthcare.gov's unstable code, when one part is fixed, another part will break. The databases will be a goldmine of personal information presented to hackers on a silver platter. If you're nervous about hackers getting your private info, how about when the government has full access to it? My friends, the hackable code is emblematic of the code behind the code of Obamacare. The Jewish-controlled government code that brought us the NSA, the NDAA, and Homeland Security on the prowl for domestic terrorists lurks behind Obamacare. Even if Zients comes up with a glitch-free website, which he can't, would you still want Big Brother to have power over your body? Our health is the final frontier of government control. If our government, which I've proven time and again to be Jewish-controlled, keeps track of your voting records, political networks, and Facebook posts, do you really want it to decide what medical attention you need? How about medical attention you don't need? Like Brandon Robb, who after a harmless Facebook post was hauled off to a mental hospital and reportedly pumped with psychiatric drugs. You can't make water solid by putting boards under it. The code can't be fixed. You can't make a rotten apple juicy by painting it red. Our government is under Jewish control. Until we fix the code behind the code of Obamacare, keep your body far away from healthcare.gov.
All right. There you go. Find good words as always. Good words as always. You know, it's hard to feel bad for people who signed up because you've been told. People have been told. Yet people have signed up and then they're like upset because my personal information suddenly got out into the public. Duh. You weren't paying attention when people told you that this man was out to betray you, that this program was a piece of crap. You weren't paying attention. You were just so busy running after Obama because you thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. He is a liar. He has been lying over and over and over. If you don't know how to tell the difference between the truth and a lie, well, that's your problem. At this point in time, you need to figure it out. Little kids understand the difference between a truth and a lie. Why can't most adults? Seems rather a simple thing, should be common sense, but what is supposed to be common sense unfortunately isn't these days. Now, we know that the Obamacare is going around and they're trying to bully people, and we've heard the stories about the navigators. And yesterday, during the conference or the interview or whatever it was, Sibelius kind of led on that yeah, there may be some felons that may be hired as navigators. What? Well, yeah, we know this. We know this because there's felons that have been hired as TSA agents. Why wouldn't they be hired as navigators? The government agencies seem to like to hire felons. Don't know why, but it's just what they like to do. I guess it's to terrorize the good Americans. That's what you have, and that's what you have. What happens when you have a man in office who is a traitor? When he is a terrorist, that's what he does. He tears the country apart. And let's not forget, around the whole Obamacare issue, Michelle Obama, as we hear, allegedly had her license taken away from her to practice law. For what reason? The alleged excuse and the reason why is insurance fraud. So this woman picked the person who was involved with the selection of who was going to work on the Obamacare website, a woman who had allegedly lost her license to practice law for insurance fraud. Really? And still there are Americans who are still being fooled by this? Oh yeah, that's right. Most Americans don't know, because most Americans are too busy watching and listening to the mainstream news and listening to the lies there. Despite the fact that you've been told they lie to you, still many Americans go there and they trust what they say. I like to go and look at the mainstream news to find out what the lie they're telling is. Every now and then they slip in some important information, okay? That's how they keep you hooked. They throw in real information, breadcrumbs of info, but then there's other stuff that leads you in ways that you don't need to be led. It's very important that you pay attention these days, because if you don't take control of your mind, someone else will. Now, in Texas, it says Governor Rick Perry today issued the following statement regarding President Barack Obama's visit to Dallas to promote Obamacare. President Obama deceived the American people by promising that anyone who liked their health care plan could keep it. But millions of Americans are now discovering it simply isn't true. Now he's coming to Texas in a desperate attempt to salvage his ill-conceived and unpopular program from a titanic fate by preaching expansion of the same Medicaid system he admits is broken. In Texas, where Medicaid already consumes a quarter of the state budget, we simply need the flexibility to implement fundamental state-specific reforms to our Medicare program instead of a one-size-fits-all Washington mandate before it bankrupts our state, Mr. President. Texans aren't the reason Obamacare is crumbling. Obamacare is the reason Obamacare is crumbling. So, at least Rick Perry's standing up to that. That's a good thing. More people are standing up. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't understand why people are buying into the lie, but they are. It just boggles my mind, okay? It boggles my mind. There's too many good people, and yet too many people give up their thinking to the government that lies to them. All right. You know what? The situation, I think, is this. You've got two ways that the media is looked at these days, or two types of media. You got the media that's the mainstream media, and then you have the media that's the alternative media. The mainstream media, which is on the television, cable, and regular television, goes out there, and it's mainly, well, you can see the statistics that more people are going away from it. People that are watching it are still the older people, the people who aren't technologically savvy, and they're not encouraged by the mainstream programs to go look at the technology, to go there. But the other type of news that's going on in the world is the news that is taking place, the new media of these days. And news is taking place on the social networks. So if your friends say, oh, there's nothing good, the news doesn't come out there, how can you trust that? Here's how you can trust it. You see, the social networks allow us to be able to communicate instantly with each other. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, these are some of the very popular applications that are out there, pieces of technology that are out there, that allow people, if they have a camera on them, to be able to take a picture or to be able to send information. And guess what? We live in a day and age where almost everybody has a cell phone that has a camera on it and has recording devices and has texting ability. Therefore, instantly somebody can be out there, see an event take place, take a picture of it, and instantly put it up on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. They can put their information. So news is gathered much quicker in that regard. The mainstream news isn't getting the news in that way. If you notice their news goes through a process where they need to double check some things and make sure it's right, and 2, 3, 4 days later after the news comes out, they'll come out with the story. Meanwhile, social networks will break the story as they happen because that's what's going on. News is happening quicker there. So there's where the disconnect is. You have those who are watching the mainstream, watching news that's moving at a slow pace, and then you've got the new media that's going on and the social networks, which is happening like this. Now, you have to be able to weed through, just like everything else, but if you weed through and you look and you see what's going on, you can find that there's real news that is being presented on a momentary basis. And then once you understand that, you might ask yourself, if there's so much news out there, why are the mainstreams only running the same story over and over and over again? Why does every media outlet have to tell you the story of Richie Incognito? Who cares? He's a football player that was bullying another guy. Yes, it's a bad situation. They're grown men. They should be over it. Okay? But we don't need to be bombarded with that childlike behavior on the media over and over and over again. The guy's not worth hearing about, okay? If he's that kind of a human being, we don't need to hear about it. Maybe a little blurb, tell the story once, but then let it go. But the media goes on and on and on about it. And we hear these nonsensical stories every day as if they're the most important thing in the world. I'm telling you, go look at the alternative media networks. Look at the amount of news that is out there, and you will see that the news that the mainstream talks about is a fraction of what is available on a daily basis. A fraction. But they don't tell it because they're not supposed to tell it. And that's part of the disconnect, because those who are watching the mainstream, because they're not going to places to fact check and double check, they don't understand the deception of the mainstream media. They think they're being honest. People still think CNN is being honest with them, despite the fact that you can go online and you can find video after video after video of them faking shows. Same thing with Fox and MSNBC, CBS, all of them. The information is there, yet people still don't want to believe. Okay? Has to do with their psychology, and they're willing to deny what is before their very eyes. Now here's an interesting video. It says ghostly blur tears mirror from police officer's car. Alright? So what we got here is this, just that blur right there. It says a Connecticut police officer found his car mirror ripped off and laying on the ground next to his vehicle. The surveillance showed something more bizarre, a ghost-like blur tearing the mirror off the car and tossing it around. Here's the video. Alright, let me back up here. Here we go. There's the car, there's that whatever that is. Comes around, pulls the mirror off. There's the mirror. Very interesting. Okay? I just wanted to point that out. Things happen in the world that are weird and strange. That was one of them. I think we're living in very strange, interesting times, so we'll see more of that. Now there was a meteor that came down in Russia. This is in regards to that. It says Russia fireball shows meteor risk may be bigger than once thought. Scientists are studying the terrifying meteor that exploded without warning over Russia last winter. Say the threat of space rocks smashing into Earth is bigger than they thought. Meteors about the size of the one that streaked through the sky at 42,000 miles per hour and burst over Chelyabinsk in February, and ones even larger are more dangerous, are probably 4 to 5 times more likely to hit the planet than scientists believe before the fireball, according to 3 studies published Wednesday in the Journals of Nature and Science. Until Chelyabinsk, NASA has looked only for space rocks about 100 feet wide and bigger, figuring there was little danger below that. The meteor was only 62 feet across, but burst with the force of about 40 Hiroshima-type atom bombs. Scientists say its shockwave shattered thousands of windows, and the flash temporarily blinded 70 people and caused dozens of skin-peeling sunburns just after dawn in icy Russia. More than 1,600 people were injured. Up until then, scientists had figured a meteor causing an airburst like that was once in a 150 years event. based on how many space rocks have been identified in orbit. But one of the studies now says it's likely to happen once every 30 years. So based on these things are actually hitting. All right, so something to be concerned about. But again, is this part of just a fear that's being brought out? Because as you could see, this is a story that was up on the Fox News webpage. Okay, so as I say, I like to go there and check to see what they're doing, what is the lie that they're telling, because they're not honest. Okay, so what part of this story is real and what isn't? Remember, there's Project Bluebeam, which is out there. There's a desire to make the public fearful about what is going on, and in that fear to turn towards the government to help them. Okay? It's not about helping you in the way that you think. It's about controlling you. It's about controlling you. All right, so I'm going to turn our attention back to Nibiru for a second here. This is a video. It was taken, well, it'll speak for itself. So how about if I just let it do that?
Taken from the South Pole. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this photograph. This photograph was supposedly taken from the South Pole telescope that was designed and built for the monitoring and tracking of Planet X, also called Nibiru. This is the base photograph. 2 days ago I found the second photograph, similar to this. The only difference is that in this photograph, it reveals coordinates on the bottom. This photograph was taken off of a gentleman's YouTube video, which was later removed thus after. The coordinates are, can't really come in on the camera that well, but 5 hours, 33 minutes, 27 seconds, -6, 10 degrees, 56. Now, I thought to myself, if I were to take these same coordinates and plug them into Google Earth Sky, if I may possibly get the same image, seeing how that these images were taken in 2007, around that time period, right after the South Pole Telescope was first opened, and Google Earth Sky originated in 2007, I thought there might be some possible similarities in the pictures. So let me just open up Google Earth here and I'll show you what I found. Now if we just go to View, Explore, and switch the sky. Now I took the same coordinates, which I will show you here. 5 hours, 53 minutes, 27 seconds, -6, 10, 58. Now I will take those coordinates, zoom out here, and let's begin the search. And I think you'll be pretty amazed at what you find. Looks as though we went into a big dark hole. Now, as you can see, there's no stars around or anything in this image. But if we slowly back out, you'll notice that in this exact image, there was just a cropped out circle, square, of absolutely nothing. This is the only image found in the Google Earth Sky where it is completely blacked out. Now, if you zoom in really close, there's proof here that this is not just a false image. You see here this background star? The star is cut directly in half. And up here there's a little information tab, and when you click on it, what comes up, I'm not sure if you can see that, but all it says is this. I don't know what this means. I clicked on it, but it went to a dead link. Well, folks, there you have it. There's more proof that Nibiru possibly does exist, and there's a big cover-up right now. And what worries me even more is the fact that someone went to the great extent of blocking out this image, and for the public to see what is possibly imminently coming. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, so why would they do that? Why would they do that? If there's nothing there, then there's nothing to block out. Maybe someone at NASA just was bored, randomly picked an area, decided they're gonna think so. No, I don't think so either. Okay, Here is a story about a sea cucumber found to kill 95% of cancer cells and shrink tumors. Sea cucumbers have been used in traditional Chinese medicine for hundreds of years, but they are relatively obscure in the U.S. This may be soon changing, however, as evidence mounts that the sea cucumber extracts can kill cancer cells while stimulating the immune system. As reported by Ethan Evers, author of the Eden Prescription, previous research on sea cucumber has demonstrated its ability to kill lung, breast, prostate, skin, colon, pancreatic, and liver cancer cells. These extracts have also proven effective in killing leukemia and glioblastoma cells. Looks like we can add yet another food to the list of anti-cancer foods. Scientists believe a key component known as frondoside A is to be responsible. Frondoside A is period diverse organic compounds found in essential oils and the oleoresins of plants. The latest study published in PLOS ONE has confirmed just how powerful frondoside A truly is. Researchers found it to kill 95% of ER plus breast cancer cells, 95% of liver cancer cells, 90% of melanoma cells, 80 to 85% of 3 different types of lung cancer. It says, but the benefits of this compound don't just stop at directly inducing programmed cell death. It also inhibits angiogenesis, the ability of tumors to grow new blood vessels to get their food, and stops cancer metastasizing by impeding cell migration and invasion. Even more intriguing is the ability of frondoside A to activate our immune system's natural killer cells to attack cancer cells. This has been shown for breast cancer in particular, but may also apply to all cancers because it involves the immune system and not cancer cells directly. This may be partially explained why frondoside A was so effective at the shrinking lung tumors in mice that it rivaled chemo drugs in performance. All right, more to the article. There you go, something else to check out. Sea cucumbers, not just regular, but sea cucumbers. Okay, we do meditations every day. The meditations often are geared at the chakras. Here's an article called Opening the Chakras. The chakra meditations use mudras, which specialize hand positions to open the chakras. They have the power to send more energy to particular chakras. Okay, here's a short little video. Just 3.5 minutes in length. I want to play this because it has some good info for you. Here, let me do that.
Namaste. My name is Sonette and I'm from Sonisha Academy of Meditation, Metaphysics and Vibrational Resonance Therapies. Today I will show you how to form the mudras for the 7 main chakras. For the root chakra, connect the tips of the thumbs with the tips of the index fingers, creating a circle with the thumb and index finger. Do this with both hands, and then simply relax the other fingers with the palms open and facing up. For the sacral chakra, fold one hand inside the other, connecting the tips of the thumbs together to create a circle with the palms and the thumbs, and simply rest this in your lap. For the solar plexus chakra, extend the fingers, making sure the fingers are straight, and interlock the thumbs. Make sure that you leave space between the palms of the hands, and raise the palms up in front of the solar plexus, holding this position throughout your meditations for the solar plexus. For the heart chakra, simply connect the tips of the thumbs with the tips of the middle fingers. Do this with both hands and create a circle between the thumbs and the middle finger. Simply relax the rest of the fingers with the palms facing up and rest this in your lap. For the throat chakra, interlink the fingers at the knuckles, the first knuckle, relaxing it back into the palms, and connect the tips of the thumbs to each other, creating a circle once again with the thumbs and the palms of the hands. And simply rest this in your lap. For the third eye, connect the knuckles at the first knuckle with the fingers, rolling it down to the second knuckle, connecting the tip of the thumbs, creating a heart when you're looking at the fingers. And then raise the middle fingers up, connecting the tips of the middle fingers, and place the knuckles back together, so that you now create a heart with a triangle on top. And simply rest this in your lap. For the crown chakra, interlock the fingers and extend the little fingers, and simply rest this in your lap. In this series of videos, there will be more videos that will show how to use each mudra individually, as well as how to use it for meditation and breath work with more information. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Nice little video with the hand positions, so you can practice those as you do your meditations. And that brings us to the message today, which is from the angels. Here we go.
By Ann Albers, November 2nd, 2013.
My dear friends, we love you so very much. Each moment of your life is new, precious, and unique. It can never be recreated exactly the same way. In each moment, you get a chance to say, who am I now? What do I want to bring into this moment? Do I want to bring my past into my present? Do I want to create a new experience? Do I want to see what unfolds? You get to choose, dear ones, what you bring into each special, precious, and unique now. If your past was painful, you can make a choice right now to focus on something better. You can say, yes, I remember how much something hurt me, but in this moment, no one is hurting me now. No one is in charge of my reality now except for me. Now I choose to take my attention and turn it away from the pain. I choose to love myself and be kind to myself. I choose to do something nice for myself. I choose to focus on something that uplifts my soul. I choose to focus on perhaps uplifting another's soul. I choose to focus on anything I possibly can, however small, that is loving and kind. And in this fashion, dear ones, you build spiritual muscle. You practice turning away from habitual and ingrained memories and thoughts that do not make you feel good, now. You learn that you and you alone get to choose who and what is carried with you into each moment. You remember that you are a new you with each and every breath you take. Likewise, even your most positive memories cannot be recreated, but rather can be made once again, anew. When you fall in love with a person, do not expect them to be the same tomorrow. Look at them as if you see them for the first time, as if you love them for the first time. When you fall in love, you look for the best in another. What if you could look for the best in each other, all beings, every day? Likewise, say you enjoy an event, a celebration, or a ritual such as eating your breakfast and drinking your coffee. See if you can recreate this experience anew every time you enjoy it by bringing the full focus of your love and attention into the present. Do not expect things or people to be the same, bring your best self to them, and then they may be even better. Dear ones, each moment, each breath, is a gift. We know how difficult it is to overcome the human tendency to carry the past into the future. However, with practice, you can lean to create each moment, fresh and new, bringing only the love you wish to see into the present, and therefore, also into the future. God bless you. We love you so very much. The angels.
All right, very nice. Very, very nice. And we have one other. This is our daily angel message. And this one says, keep communications open. There is someone who needs to speak to you or something you need to know. All right? Good message. Keep our communications open. And that brings us last but not least to our meditation for today. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. Exhale. Let's activate all of the chakras, starting with the chakra at the bottom of the spine. Color is red. Imagine the energy being drawn from the earth into the chakra. Imagine that energy moving up from that chakra to the chakra above it, right at the belly button. Imagine the color orange. From there, let the energy move up higher to the chakra above it, just below the rib cage in the solar plexus area, and imagine the color yellow. From there, let the energy keep moving up higher until it gets into the heart space, and there see the color green for the green heart chakra. And there the energy continues to go up higher to the throat. The color of the throat chakra is blue. Let the energy raise up higher to the third eye, right between the two eyebrows. Imagine the color indigo. And then finally, the energy continues moving up to the top of the head, where it reaches the crown chakra. There the color is violet. And then the light continues on, up into the cosmos, as bright white light, connecting deep, deep, deep into space. Feel the energy as it moves in and out each one of these chakras, both clockwise and counterclockwise. Feel the energy from the chakras that flow into your body. And imagine all of this multicolored energy from all of the chakras mixing in your body. Allow the energy to overflow your body. Extend outward 3 feet around you. Imagine this egg of protection around you, and this light from the chakras fill this egg of protection. Now, I want you to imagine what it is you would like to accomplish in the world, what it is you would like to do in the world. I'd like you to think past whatever fears or concerns or doubts you have about what is taking place, and just put your thoughts into what it is you would like to create, build, do, and simply see that becoming a reality. And simply allow yourself to know the steps needed to do in order to get done what it is you wish to do. I want you to understand that the world, and see the world objectively as it is, and notice how there is a portion of it falling apart. And simply recognize that that which is falling apart needs to fall apart so that it can be rebuilt. And imagine the world being rebuilt from the ashes, being rebuilt by good minds, good souls, who are putting forth selfless efforts. And imagine a world where we live in a state of selflessness, reaching out and helping each other. Take another deep breath. Feel the air moving through your body and exhale slowly. Take another deep breath. This time as the energy cycles through your body, I want you to imagine it catching and pulling out any residual doubts and fears that may be there. And as you breathe out, just exhale those out into the world where they are recycled by love to return as love. And let's just think a kind thought for everybody in the world today going through the challenges they're going through. And as we think kind thoughts for others, and others think kind thoughts for us, We create kindness around the world that can only benefit us. So let's just think of kindness, and let's just think of good thoughts for everybody on earth today. And let us bring our attention now back to the present moment. So our subconscious mind is going to continue on this journey of sending out good thoughts. And let's take a deep breath. And as we do, we exhale and we'll slowly bring our attention back to the present moment. Take another deep breath. And exhale. And go ahead and open your eyes. And there you have it, my friends. Take one more deep breath. And exhale again and bring your attention fully back to the present moment. Happy, healthy, and whole. Now, open your eyes. And that's it, my friends. That's our show, our prayer, our meditation. Thanks for being here. A lot of challenges in the world as always, but the solution is in the spirit. So let's keep going to the spirit, because there we will find the way to alleviate the problems that are going on. Not everybody's going to go there. We know that. But there are many that will. And those that are able to, well, that's the next phase of the game. To go to the spirit to find the solution to the problems that we face. And let those who need to go to the physical to do what they have to do go there. But we know that this is the time the light is returned, the dark is going away, and the promise is that the wicked and ungodly are going to be removed. So let the wicked and the ungodly do what they're going to do. Their days are numbered. You just keep being positive. Keep standing strong in the spirit. Remember the words. I command you to be firm and steadfast. Do not fear nor be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you may go. Go in the world and rest in the knowledge that you are protected and safe. I'll be back tomorrow with more news and information. Have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.